Welcome to Module 4, the last module for the Civilian Firearms Training Program. We're going to be going over the firearms crimes as defined within the Firestone Criminal Code. If you want to read along, go over to the Firestone Criminal Code Trello. The link should be up here somewhere. And follow along with me. We'll be starting with number 1, section 1, the unlawful possession of a firearm. Just as a note as well, firearm crimes are within Chapter 5 of this criminal code, so you might have to scroll a little bit to the right to get to it. Chapter 5, Section 1, Unlawful Possession of a Firearm. The act of unlawful possession of a firearm shall be recognized as an unlawful criminal offense within the state of Firestone. Unlawful possession of a firearm shall be the act of physically possessing and bearing a firearm in Stapleton County while not holding a license from the Firestone Firearms Commission or another appropriate body authorized under statute to provide licenses for the possession of firearms. So, what this law is pretty much saying is if you don't have a CFL, you can't have a firearm in Firestone. That's all this is saying. It's not that deep. Going on to the next one. Criminal misuse of a firearm. The act of criminal misuse of a firearm shall be the act of utilizing a firearm in any manner to aid in the commission of another offense, and the act of utilizing a firearm in the commission of a crime, as prescribed by the code and further legislation. So pretty much if you have a firearm and you're murdering someone or if you're robbing a bank, any other like criminal offense you're doing and you have a firearm with you, this law just gets tacked on to that. So this offense just gets tacked on to whatever original charge you would have. So if you were just robbing an ATM but you didn't have a firearm with you, then it doesn't count. But if you have a firearm with you and you're also robbing an ATM, boom bang, this is now being used against you as well. So if you are doing a criminal offense, don't have a firearm with you, but then again, don't do any criminal offenses. Section 3, negligent misuse of a firearm. The act of negligent misuse of a firearm shall be the act of utilizing a firearm in a manner that is inherently reckless as a result of gross negligence as the proper and lawful utilization of a firearm. So we talked about this a little bit before in Module 3, but if you have this vehicle that's a vehicle assault and it just keeps on ramming into you, and then you notice that there's also a passenger in that vehicle, and you shoot that vehicle, and you somehow also have some bullets that go over and hit both the passenger and the operator of the vehicle, this charge can actually be used against you because that passenger didn't do anything wrong. It was only the driver of the vehicle that you should have been attacking. So again, that's why you have to be very careful on where you aim your firearm, because if you shoot it into a crowd of people, and even if you have good intentions to shoot just only perpetrator, if you shoot someone else who wasn't involved, then that's still reckless behavior, and this will be used against you. So just make sure you're aware of that. Unlawfully brandishing a firearm. The act of unlawfully brandishing a firearm shall be the act of displaying one's firearm in an attempt to threaten or terminate another person, or as a result of negligence in the proper or lawful handling of firearms, without proper justification to do so as prescribed by this code. So what this is just saying is, hey, if you can't just bring out your firearm just to like show people or whatever, there has to be very specific reasons you bring it out. So one of those is if you're at a gun show or if you're at the range, then you have lawful reason to like bring out your firearm and do it. Again, also if you are in self-defense, then you can bring out your firearm. However, you can't be like, hey, don't mess with me, I'm armed, and then be like, bring out your firearm to like intimidate someone. You cannot do that in Firestone. And I don't think you can do that anywhere else within like the United States. So don't do that. Don't just bring out your firearm to threaten people to be like, hey, if you mess with me one more time, I got a bullet for you. Alright, so don't do that. Unlawful distribution of a firearm. The act of unlawful distribution of firearm shall be recognized as knowingly and maliciously distributing a firearm without proper license or permission to do so. Permission and license as prescribed by the revamped Controls of Firearms Act or further legislation. So pretty much what this is saying is you can only give out a firearm if you are a certified weapons distributor, aka that's also where PATHS is. That's the designation for PATHS. If you go like those NPCs that are selling it at like islands and stuff like that, you can't buy from them. Technically, they could be arrested under this act if we really wanted to arrest an NPC. We could. Maybe we should send out a warrant for them. But in the future, if there's a way to like sell firearms to people, uh, we might have to look at this or revise this. But for the time being, even if like today there was a way to sell firearms to people, you can't do it by yourself. You would have to get some sort of special license from the Department of Commerce in order to be a certified weapons distributor. So just keep that in mind, even if there's a development update within the next few months that says, hey, you're now able to sell firearms to people, kind of like the same commerce system, still don't do it. Just refer back to this or like ask questions if that does happen in the future. This last one, mishandling of firearms license, I'm not really going to go over it just because it's not applicable to y'all. It's only applicable for members of the Firestone Firearms Commission, but essentially what this section is talking about is just we can't give it out to license. We can't give out licenses to people who don't deserve it. That's all it's saying. Thank you again for going over this module. This was the last module over the criminal code regarding firearms. You can go ahead and do your session quiz, and we'll see you on the range, and then you'll be done. You'll be done with this entire program, and you'll be able to have your own firearm in Firestone. So congratulations, and you're almost there. You're right there. Again, ask any questions you have.